We've all been hearing rumors about Top Thrill Dragster lately. Some say it's going to close forever, and others think Cedar Point will work to open it for the 2023 season. Today, I wanted to look at a different aspect of the situation. Can Cedar Point really get away with closing Top Thrill Dragster? I want to discuss how this is even being considered. Would Cedar Point really remove the second tallest coaster in the world and the tallest at their park? Could Cedar Point get away with removing the coaster that was first to cross the 400-foot mark and a park icon for almost 2 decades?
This is the race that straps you into the driver's seat and counts down to go. The catapult launching system rockets you from 0 to 120 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds. But your vehicle is like no dragster on Earth. And your 2,800-foot drag strip takes a sharp turn straight up into the sky. 420 feet. Don't blink. From the top, you'll be looking 11 stories down on Millennium Force. But not for long. You're coming back down. But you're not coming straight back down. As the dragster train reaches the crest, it banks and spirals downward in near free fall until it reaches the braking system and rolls back into the station. Okay, you can breathe now.
Cedar Point opened Top Thrill Dragster back in 2003. At the time, it was a revolutionary concept and the coaster industry hadn't seen anything like it before. Sure, there were the other accelerator coasters that opened, but no coaster had ever gone this tall or this fast before. Cedar Fair and Intamin truly blew the world away with the announcement of the massive coaster they were building for 2003. But there was one thing they didn't know yet. While Cedar Point was about to open one of the craziest thrill machines of all times, they were about to unleash on themselves one of the biggest maintenance nightmares in the history of roller coasters. Problems that would end up becoming so bad, it would lead some of the park's officials to say they regretted ever opening the ride. What was the problem with Top Thrill Dragster that caused its park to hate it so much? What was wrong with this incredible record-breaking coaster? The answer to that is one word: Intamin. When Intamin is paired in the same sentence as revolutionary, you know you're gonna get two things: an awesome ride and a maintenance nightmare. Intamin, especially 20 years ago, had extreme reliability issues with their coasters. Even today, after they've been trying to improve for years, they still aren't perfect. Don't get me wrong, Intamin has made some great improvements with the reliability of their coasters since 2003, but they still don't come anywhere close in reliability to a company like B&M. Even though Top Thrill Dragster was the maintenance nightmare for Cedar Point, the park still kept it open because there's no way they were going to close such a massive coaster. First of all, they'd already spent a ton of money on Dragster, so they may as well try and get as much use out of it as possible. Second, why would Cedar Point want to close down the second tallest coaster in the world? Holding a record like that is something a park wouldn't want to give up easily, and Cedar Point was actually the first one ever to cross the 400-foot mark on a full circuit coaster. Removing Dragster would also mean Cedar Point would lose a major icon in their skyline, as well as lose one of their all-time best attractions and a major record breaker that draws guests in till this day. Intamin did go on to build another ride like Top Thrill Dragster just 2 years after it opened at Six Flags Great Adventure. But even though the ride is 36 feet taller, it just isn't the same experience. The state of New Jersey has laws that prevent Six Flags Great Adventure from operating King the Con with lap bars. So even though King the Con may be taller and features an extra Airtime hill, it's no competition to Dragster. Launching so fast and so high with lap bars is an experience like no other. There's no coaster in the world that even comes close to offering the height and speed of Top Thrill Dragster with lap bars. So how on earth could Cedar Point even consider removing Top Thrill Dragster? How are they getting away with leaving it closed for the entire 2022 season? Cedar Point's last coaster they opened was in 2018, and since then, they've removed Wicked Twister and added some more restaurants. Could they really be considering removing Top Thrill Dragster, one of their best attractions and such an icon for the park, to add more restaurants? Now, in no way do I mean to downplay the accident that happened with this coaster last year. It was a tragic accident, and if Cedar Point thought there was even the smallest chance in the world something like it could happen again, I'd say of course they shouldn't reopen the coaster. However, there seems to be a simple way to prevent anything like what happened last year from ever happening again. They could put up gates. The necessary upgrades that are needed to get this coaster back up and running would definitely be cheaper than tearing the whole thing down. Now maybe the park is just tired of dealing with the headaches this coaster continues to bring with it and wants to take it down and replace it with something more reliable. Theme Park Predictions had an entire video on how B&M Giga could work as a great replacement if Cedar Point removed Top Thrill Dragster. But could Cedar Point actually remove a 400-foot coaster and replace it with a more reliable 300-foot coaster? That feels like we're going backwards. Cedar Point has always been known as the roller coaster capital of the world, and now more than ever, there are some other parks sneaking up on them. Why not just get Top Thrill Dragster open as soon as possible? Cedar Point still hasn't told us what they're planning to do with Top Thrill Dragster. On the one hand, they haven't announced its closure, and there have been no signs of them looking to demolish the massive attraction. So maybe they're planning to upgrade it and reopen it next year. On the other hand, if they're going to reopen it anyway, why not do it as soon as possible? They are already short one coaster after removing Wicked Twister last year. So why wouldn't they be trying as hard as they possibly can to get Top Thrill Dragster open quickly? I think Cedar Point wants to remove Top Thrill Dragster, but I also think they're afraid of the consequences it might cause. I mean, Hershey Park has been slowly sneaking up on Cedar Point for years, and with Hershey's rumored RMC Wildcat hopefully coming soon, I think Cedar Point needs to play it smart. If they remove Top Thrill Dragster, the park will never be the same. 2 years ago, comparing Cedar Point to a park like Hershey wouldn't even be a fair match, but without Cedar Point's Wicked Twister and Top Thrill Dragster, it makes them more beatable when it comes to coaster lineups, especially if Hershey Park gets that RMC. So what is going on with Top Thrill Dragster? Why is it sitting but not operating for the entire season? Well, I think Cedar Point is evaluating two different options. I think they will either make some crazy changes to the ride and reopen it next year, or remove it and replace it with something major. Either one of those options takes years of planning. Cedar Point won't be able to get away with just removing Top Thrill Dragster. If they remove it, they're gonna have to replace it with a massive revolutionary coaster that following year. I think Cedar Point's got a secret plan for Top Thrill Dragster that they're working on right now. I think something crazy is about to be announced, and I think Cedar Point's next coaster may be one no one was expecting. That's why I'm coming out with a video on this in a few days all about Cedar Point's secret plan for Top Thrill Dragster. I'll put the video on screen once it's out, and who knows, we may be about to see Cedar Point open the world's tallest coaster.
Instant replay. Leave the station. Launch. 0 to 120 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds. Go straight up 420 feet. Look down. Wave out. Bank. Spiral. Free fall. Brake. Stop. Go ahead. Take a second to scream.